Hello, I'm here at the Global Impact Film Festival. My name is Sabrina McMillan, and I'm here with Meta Sarmiento, one of the creators of a film called You Deserve Tomorrow. And I'm here to ask Meta a few questions about his film. Meta, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
That's great. Are you enjoying the festival?
I definitely am. It's been a blast so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So could you tell me what inspired you to create You Deserve Tomorrow?
So me and one of my homies, he's a filmmaker. His name is James Davis. He directed and edited the film. So we got together and he kind of just ran some ideas by me, and he was like, yo, I want to make a sort of dramatic film that people will really respond to. And so we were tossing a bunch of ideas around. And what happened was there had been a string of suicides in the community. And so that kind of, that affected me emotionally, especially because they were all high school students. And I was teaching in our high schools. So that prompted me to sort of write this poem, and I showed it to James, and I told him that, I'm working on this piece right now that sort of speaks to the idea of suicide. And so I wrote the piece from the perspective of a best friend trying to convince their best friend not to go through with suicide. And so after I ran it by James, he said it sounded like a great idea, and I showed him some of the lines and the stanzas that I had already written, and he really liked them, and he thought that we could really put some striking visuals to them. And that's basically how the project was born, kind of just this sort of social impact that affected me on a personal level. And so I wanted to speak on that issue, and then we turned it into a short narrative.
That sounds awesome.
Yes.
So what is your typical or ideal audience for the film?
I think I have like three main types of audience in mind when I talk about this film. I think the first one is, of course, people who are going through really rough and dark times. I want them to see this film and sort of feel like there's still hope in the future, and that no matter how bad of a time they're going through, there's still a chance for them to have everything better and for things to get better. So that's like the first type of audience. The second type of audience, I think, is the type of people who are searching for words to actually use for their own loved ones. Because oftentimes we meet people and we don't know how to help them cope with problems. And so my hope is that people who need words find this poem to be the words that they need to use, and sort of use this film to show their loved ones, like, I might not be able to say everything I need to, but this film does it for me, and I want you to see this, to sort of bring them back from the edge. And I guess the third type of audience is definitely writers. I want other writers to sort of see this and say that, this is a good piece of writing, it's very impactful in a positive way, and that it's a poetic piece of work, and it's visually stunning on James's part too.
Excellent. It's interesting to see how mental health has been a focus of a lot of the filmmakers at the Global Impact Film Festival.
Definitely.
I've seen some fascinating works, and all of these things can really make a difference in our communities. And I know you mentioned that you are from Guam. Is that the community that you were... Wow. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that the community that you were creating this for originally?
I think in the beginning, when I first started writing the piece, I only had the local community in mind. But as the piece developed, I sort of realized that suicide is a global issue. And so I turned it from just a local perspective to sort of global, something that can be understood on a universal scale, as far as English speakers go anyway. So it went from being a local island community type of focus to something global.
Okay, and what do you think that the global impact of this film would mean to you?
Well, I think that once we make our rounds for whatever film festivals we were accepted into, we definitely want it to be released on the internet, and we kind of just want it to circulate and reach as many people as it possibly could. I would love to see the film sort of used in maybe mental health programming, maybe sort of in coping sessions even for different psychiatrists or mental health experts or whatnot. But I just really want to see the film sort of catch on to the point where people are using it not just to showcase, but to actually affect positive change within other people on a personal level.
Where can we find your work on the internet?
Cool. So you can find James Davis's work at vimeo.com/JamesDavis, and you can look him up on Instagram at Exigent Films. And for me, you can check me out at youtube.com/DeFiNow. And my website is currently under construction, but once that is up, I will definitely shoot Global Impact Film Festival the link.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sitting here and chatting with us,
Definitely.
Meta.